Episode 39 of the Mike and V Bodybuilding Show at the Mecca, Metroflex, once again at our home. What's up, bro?
What's up, buddy? It's good to see you today.
Good to see you, too. Well, we're here to clear the air tonight. We had a Frank Nesdova on the show the other day, and just want to say to all of our viewers that the opinions, views on our show, spoken by our guests, are just that. They're our guest views, not ours. And we asked Miles to come on today. Miles Nuessle is actually our NPC chairman.
Before we bring him in.
Well, yeah, we're not going to bring him in yet because we have a couple things that I want you to say.
I know, but you're not breathing, so we're just making sure you're breathing.
I'm breathing.
Breathe, buddy, breathe.
I just did cats. Anyways, Miles was kind enough to take some time out of his day today to come down here. We're going to ask him some pointed questions about the judging and, how it works with the Pro-Am. I mean, because, I think Frank yesterday said, he's bringing his IFBB judges, and that is not actually how it works. So Miles, we'll ask him that, and what else?
Well, and I think it gives a really good opportunity, one, that Miles was immediately on the spot and willing to come in and answer these questions. Again, that's a testament to him wanting to continue to run these shows smoothly, and by reaching out and asking some questions about the show the other day, it gave us an opportunity to also explain that, again, our perspective, we try to be a neutral party in this whole deal with bodybuilding, and we just try to give a platform. We interject a lot of times in these conversations because everything that we do is right from the hip. We don't rehearse anything. We talk about some things prior to the show, and so sometimes those things get interjected and can be taken the wrong way. We don't want to come off across we're one way or the other. This is truly, again, for all the people, and again, it's a platform for everybody to be able to give their own opinion. We'll never regulate somebody, but we'll always ask people to be respectful to everybody that's involved. If we get to a point where we overstep our lines, please shoot us an email, let us know your thoughts, because we're always trying to get better as a show.
The Mike and V Bodybuilding Show at hotmail.com. And after rewatching the interview, Mike, I think we were both in concert, like, you know what, it kind of looks like we're agreeing. Just the timing of the words that came out, like Mike said, nothing's rehearsed, and we want to keep the show live, we want to keep it fresh, we want to keep it moving, so we don't have sometimes the time just to kind of think things through. So anyways, our NPC chairman, he's been on the show 3 times, just a regular guy and a personal friend of ours, Miles Nuessle, in the house.
No further ado.
What's up, buddy?
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, bro.
Mike,
Miles, thanks
for having me,
for
brother.
coming back on. And again, we appreciate you coming in a really timely manner. And I think that's what the people want. If there's things for us to be able to talk about and things for us to be able to address collectively as a group, why not get it right from the chairman? So
Yeah, excellent.
With that being said, obviously there's some shows that are coming up that aren't necessarily promoted through you, and there's been the talks of judging coming in and judging coming out, and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. So can you please just kind of, and I guess we'll start right at the meat and potatoes of it, is with the judging itself, and how does that work with the Pro-Am? How's it going to work coming up with the Dennis James Classic versus any of the other shows that are out there?
First, let me say this. It has been a wonderful ride. Last night, I was laying in bed thinking about things, and I was thinking this is my 19th year putting on the shows of 2014. I was thinking this is going to be our 19th year. This is actually our 20th year putting on shows. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's awesome. It's been a wonderful experience so far. And now we have somebody else that came into the mix, and I'm very excited to announce that Dennis James is now part of the NPC promoting family. And Dennis, I welcome you. I'm excited that you're part of this NPC family. And that's what it's all about. This is Arizona NPC.
And that's
we're under one umbrella as one family, united, supporting each other. And he is my brother in arms with the NPC as a fellow promoter. I'm super excited.
And what didn't come off yesterday is when Mike and we started the show to bring everybody together. And yesterday it kind of didn't seem like we brought everything together. So thanks for coming on.
I caught that, yeah.
But let's just dive into the question.
Yeah.
I mean, because it happened to me.
Sorry.
I did my first show. I did your show, and I was in the novice, and I got second place. And then I went into the open light heavyweights, got second, and the guy that beat me in the novice took 5th. And so, how's that happen, and what's going on with that?
Yeah, that's weird. It definitely looks really weird that happened. And I remember the first time it happened was maybe 17 years ago, and I came unglued. I'm like, what the heck? How can someone beat someone in the novice, and then 2 hours later lose against that person in the open? How in the world does that work?
Yeah, by 3 spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's crazy sometimes. So you look at it and go, why in the world did that happen? Well, it was explained to me, and I as a chairman, I was living. You know how bad that makes us look?
Yeah.
Well, then the head judge explained, I went, oh, crud, now I understand why. It doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while it does happen. And here's what it is. We have judges that we swap in and out throughout the whole show to keep the judges fresh, to keep them alert in what's going on. And we usually have like 7 judges, have that odd number. We'll have maybe 11, 12 judges there. Yeah, from the burnout situation. You can't pay that much attention over 3 to 4 hours. You go nuts. And so as you switch them in and out, you'll get different opinions. So when the difference between first and second, third sometimes is only a point or 2. So if you take away 2 or 3 judges and you bring them and you change them out for the next class 2 hours later and those athletes come out again to each other, it was so close. And guys, how many shows have you been to when you look between first, second, third, you're going, oh, I'm glad I'm not a judge. I couldn't pick.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Well, that's the way it happens. And so sometimes, many it happened to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happens. It's so close. So when you swap out those judges, and when it was so close, it flip-flops. And what's the answer to that? Do we tell the judges come in and go, hey, by the way, we've already prejudged this, and that person's always going to beat this person? Then you just told those new judges they have no say in the judging whatsoever. And that's politics. That's fixing the show. So we talk about how that will happen again. There's no way not to make that happen. It doesn't
you have
happen
all
a
kinds of
lot.
stops in place. If you're a personal trainer,
real quick, you guys.
yeah, we all
Thank
can
you.
sit back. But yeah, if you're a personal trainer, you have people to show you can't judge a show. So
Yeah.
you have things like that to stop that too, right?
Yeah, there's so many things we talked about. And folks, flip on episode 25. We beat up the judging very well and what we do and what we don't do.
Right.
Also, you can go to npcmilesproduction.com. You can. I watch the episode all the time. I love it. My favorite show. Go to npcmilesproduction.com and click on Judges Corner, and you'll see exactly how we judge the shows. So I think we beat that up before.
Yeah.
But back to the swap. There's no way really to fix that. And I've asked other chairmen around the country, does that happen to you? And they all say, yeah.
What
You
if,
just
and
can't
that's
fix
what we
that.
talked about is what if we didn't have people crossing over? Would that problem be reduced or eliminated if we didn't have people crossing over? Because sometimes we have, again, the crossover was in
We
that,
have people
you know,
in 3 classes. What if you charge, instead of $60 a class, charge $150 a class, and then you don't have that? I mean, what do I know? I mean, I'm a big dog here.
You could definitely fix it by having
Well,
crossovers.
I'm just saying the
You could.
crossover just seems like that's where that happens to get. There's that mix where, again, somebody gets beaten by, and the reason we talk about it is because it's a direct example that we deal with. But somebody gets beaten by 3 spots, but clearly beats them in the open. That's where we said the whole 1 + 1 = 2. That doesn't make sense as a fan and as a bodybuilder.
Right.
Even it just doesn't make sense to me. I couldn't put I couldn't equal how it could be.
But
how
set the record straight, how do you feel about Arizona
Now that
bodybuilding judging?
let me ask you this.
I
Now
have
that
no problems
explained
with
it, do you
judging.
understand why now?
Right.
Me neither.
And the judging.
Do you
to
understand
me-
why now that happens?
Um,
And you're right. The
Yeah.
only way we can fix it would be not to allow crossovers.
Right.
And that's it's an option, but we wouldn't do that. Of course, we're going to allow masters to cross over to open and novice crossover. There's just too many crossovers.
Sure.
And then you mentioned charge a higher price. I can't do that, man. If it wasn't for you athletes, you guys are in the shows, there'd be no shows. I cannot gouge you and ask for more money. It's absolutely ridiculous. You guys spend enough money on the tanning, the dieting, the personal trainers, the suits, the show fees, the NPC cards. There's no way I feel comfortable jacking the prices of bench forms to keep people from entering crossovers.
Right. Well, and with that being said, I mean, and again, I personally, here's been my belief, and if you've followed the show at all, and anybody that has, knows that we say one thing: you train hard, you work hard, you come in hard, you're going to be hard to beat, and you're going to be rewarded, regardless if it's Arizona judges, Washington judges, California judges. So the judging, on a personal perspective, I think that if you do your work, you're going to be rewarded. Those guys that haven't done their work, and if you watched the whole episode yesterday, I called Frank out on that. I clearly said, you have not brought in your A game to any of the shows, and that's why you have not been rewarded to carrying that overall title, and so and with most people, I mean, if you go back and you look at pictures when I've been beaten, or other people, if you guys can attest to this, when you've been beaten and you go back and take a look at it, there's reasons why you get beaten. And so again, as far as Mike Best or BJ Hils goes in regards to the judging, I think our personal opinions is I can't complain about judging. I think you have to own up to your own physique and how you bring it to,
And again,
to the show.
we can fall back on what we just said a minute ago, is that the 3 of us, we could watch a show and not agree on the judging either.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's subjective.
Oh, yeah.
It's a personal thing.
And I'll tell you right now, folks, I at my own shows, I have never sat down and agree with every single placing, 1st through 5th, all the way through. And I ask this question every single pre-judging, and every single time I say, is there anyone in the audience? There was 513 athletes at the last show. I asked all 513 athletes, Have you or another significant other have ever sat down, watched the night show and the placings, and agreed in every single placings? Raise your hand. Out of 513 athletes, not one raised their hand, including myself. We'll never all agree. It's the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, we don't have that finish line to break through that signifies who's first by a clear shot. Folks, it's tough. I get it. I get why people get upset. It's very, very personal. This isn't a car where you had some body work done, you're going to fix a dent somebody lost in the show. This is your body.
Yeah. And then Miles has nothing to do with judging, okay? No. He puts on posing clinics. Speaking of that, there's a posing clinic coming up. We're going to go to it. So when is it?
Yes, the next posing clinic is February 15th.
February 15th?
And it's going to be a Saturday. It's going to be up in about a month. And it is open to everybody, and that's what Arizona does.
How much does it cost? Is it free?
Say nobody can't go. Everybody can go. It is absolutely free, and I encourage everybody to go. Hey, listen.
Where's it at?
If you are a competitor, if you're a trainer, it's a no-brainer. Why would you not go? You got to learn what we're looking for. Also, voice your opinions. Voice your concerns. Voice your
let's
suggestions.
reiterate that. Are we talking about the judging, or are we talking about a posing clinic?
No, judging clinic.
The judging clinic.
The judging clinic, yeah, judging clinic. Yeah, we say judging clinic? Yeah,
I said posing
Oh,
clinic.
I thought.
So it's actually the
judging clinic. Thank you, Mike.
So we've
And
invited
if you do it right, you get certified to be a judge, and then you have to test judge a show, and then you're a judge.
Yeah, and then once again, I want to reiterate that everybody is welcome to judge. And my personal opinion, as I said, on the website is, you athletes make the best judges. You athletes make the best judges. You're going to get the time, the dignity, the respect to judge each athlete and give them the best placings they deserve. Like you said, Mike, they deserve.
Well, and with that even being said, that he's now opened the forum. If you do have an issue with the judging, you guys, and again, I'm going to commend you on it. Yeah. You have offered people to go down there instead of complaining about the judging, become a judge. Become a judge.
Yeah,
you can become a judge and go to these clinics and learn what exactly it is, or maybe more that it entails. Maybe it's something that you don't want to do, but maybe you can get maybe a different perspective on how difficult it is at times to judge these athletes. But I think that it's great that you've continued to open that up and allow people to be able to do that. And again, I think this whole judging thing it gets blown up to more than what it really should be.
It's personal. It's tough. Yeah. I get it. Hey, folks, if you're going to be a promoter and you're going to be in this 20 years, I better have some thick skin. There's no doubt about it. I understand people getting upset, and it's very, very personal. And by the way, I tell you, I have some friends who do my shows before. I have training partners who do my shows before and haven't won, and they just turn me up one side down the other. I got nothing to do with it. I don't pick the judges. I don't choose the judges.
It has nothing to do with judging. I hear it all the time. I'm always silencing the rumors on that. Miles has nothing to do with the judging.
Yeah, we don't get in a great big huddle, folks, and figure out who wins these things.
So let's clear.
I don't even know half the judges, and none of them. Well, that's kind of mean. I don't know my personal friends, but I don't hang out with any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Duke a little bit, my head judge, because we have business meetings, but I don't ride motorcycles with them. I don't hang out with them. We don't train together. I barely even know them.
So tell us about the judging. Tell us about how the pro-ams are going to go. What is to be expected?
Yeah, because we can kind of get the clear message. Yesterday got the impression that the DJ Classic, they're flying in all these IFBB judges. Maybe they are, but I mean, as far as a pro-am, how's the judging work on that?
Well, let me say one thing real quick is, not everybody can judge, by the way. Not everybody's welcome to judge. Who cannot judge?
Correct.
Obviously, if you're a personal trainer, you get people ready for Arizona shows, you don't judge. Obvious reasons. Then they say, well, what if I don't have a client in this particular contest, but I have clients in other contests? Guess what? You're not judging. We're not going to go down that road. If you sponsor the shows, you're not judging. Also, the thing I love we've done, and we absolutely love is, we give you the athlete, as you know, every single pre-judging. We introduce all the judges. We have judges who have been judging for 15 years, or judged for 2 years. And we say, if you have a problem with any of these judges, you go to Duke and say, hey, that pretty girl there with the white hat and the pink shirt, I don't want to judge my class. Guess what Duke says?
And we have went over this before, too. It's a pretty
There's
big
no question. So I'm not sure how you get fair in that. Once again, first one to agree, I don't agree in all the placings. I never will. Nobody ever will. You guys ever? No, I don't either. But that's the nature of the beast. So anyway, to answer your questions. For the IFBB Felicia Romero Classic in November, and Dennis James show having the Kobe Kenyon with it. Yes, the IFBB judges do come down, and the only IFBB judges IFBB shows, no doubt about it.
So the IFBB judges judge the IFBB athletes.
Right, just like
the judge be judging the NPC.
Just like in November, we're going to have men's physique, and we're going to have women's figure. They will judge just like IFBB judges, no NPC judges to judge those, obvious reasons why.
Sure.
Now, when it comes to the amateur part of it, it's really cool. What Jim Mannion wants us to do is, he wants us to integrate the IFBB judges along with the local judges from that state to judge the show. So you have a mix of judges from all over the country and the local judges here in Arizona or whatever state that may happen to come together. And the thing is, the IFBB judges are going to teach me, they're going to teach our other judges how it's done on the national and world level. And that's exciting for Arizona to learn off those people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the day we think we know it all is the day we stop learning.
Right.
So typically this is how it works. There'll be 5 IFBB judges. You've got the head judge who do the call-outs. The head judge typically is not judge. He's focusing on call-outs just like we do in the
He's tiebreaker, right?
It could come down that tiebreaker, yeah, but you will have odd amount of judges, so usually that doesn't happen.
Sure.
But he'll concentrate in the call-outs, which he should. Then typically there's 4 IFBB judges and 3 NPC judges. Typically, sometimes it flip-flops to 4 NPC and 3 IFBB, but typically it's 4 and 3.
And that's the amateur.
So you get that
part.
nice mixture.
That's
the amateur part, yeah.
And the IFBB is just IFBB judges.
Yes.
Okay.
And the IFB head judge will also be the head judge of the NPC portion of the show. And that's exciting.
So we have the same head judge throughout the entire.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And what it does, Jim Mannion wants the country to be on the same page. So he wants me as a chairman to learn off these IFB judges. He wants Duke, our head national judge, to learn from these IFB judges, put us on the same page on what we do to make it uniform across the country. Because you know as I do, guys, no different parts of the country. It's just different ways of writing
Sure,
things.
absolutely.
Let's keep it uniform, like we said, under one umbrella of the NPC.
Right.
So that's how that goes down.
Right.
And
Well, that's
I
a
think
great
we're pretty excited
explanation.
about it. Yeah.
And again, I think that it is, again, you have opened up to expanding your horizons with the whole judging thing and the criteria and allowing athletes to be a part of that. And that, as an athlete, I don't know much more that you can ask for. So again, I commend you, man. I think that it's a good thing, and that you're listening, and that to me is growth, and that's
we
what we
appreciate
need.
you coming on, clearing the air, and bodybuilding's not for all of us, right?
I tell you what, man, it is a passion of Kim and I, and when people, the cool thing is when people slam the judging in Arizona, when you can't give specifics, you can't say, well, the sponsor was judging, well, that guy, his girlfriend was on the panel, the personal trainer's client's on the show. If there's nothing that you can give, you can just say, it sucks. I think we've done our job. As the chairman, I've done my job.
You fix the problem.
I mean, seriously, guys, have you ever heard
And
a
by the way-
specific political thing that's ever happened, or a name or anything else? We don't. And like I said, you got the option of having that get kicked out of the judging panel anyway.
Right.
And by the way, you know what's funny about that? I've talked to the chairman around the country. They said, we would never offer that. We wouldn't have any judges. Do you realize in the 4 to 5 years we've offered that option of you don't feel comfortable having someone judging? Because we have ex-girlfriends before, ex-wives, husbands on the judging panel.
Sure.
Obviously I can feel comfortable. In the 4 to 5 years we've done that, twice we've had an athlete come up and say, we don't want that judge. How many times a year after a show people say, that judge didn't like me here and there? It's just an excuse.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. We've taken an excuse away.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm very proud of what we do, and I take great personal pride in what me and Kim have brought to the state.
Well,
the integrity, the honesty.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm open. Please email me. Let me know what you think. Definitely come to the judging clinic February 15th. It is so important.
And real quick,
make your voice
email
heard.
addresses as well, so they can contact.
The best way is on the website, npcmilesproductions.com. Go there, find information out. We want you there. Voice your opinion. Hit me between the eyes with your questions. Ask me what the heck. Because
you
you
think
know
it's something
what
that can
it is?
improve judging? Give a suggestion to Miles. I mean,
Everything about
a
the
lot of
show.
the changes that have come about in the judging is from us
Oh my
writing
gosh,
in
yeah.
to Miles. So
Yeah.
if you have a good suggestion, let Miles know, and he'll take it under advisement. Right?
Because if you don't ask the questions like when you said in the show before, hey man, sometimes 1-1 should equal 2.
Right.
When you have a novice, they switch positions in the open, that doesn't equal 2. That's a phenomenal question.
Right.
I want people to answer that because either A, we fix it, or 2, I tell you, well, this is why that happened. And then you go,
Correct.
1-1 is 2.
Correct. No,
in the
I
situation.
agree.
Great question, Mike. I appreciate that. So, folks, keep those coming in. That's what makes it better. Let me tell you something right now. This is not my NPC. I'm just blessed to be the facilitator that Jim Mannion is giving me the privilege to do this for you. Folks, this is your NPC. This is your state. You get involved and you tell me what you want. It's my job to give it to you. Everybody has an equal voice. Everybody.
Well, with that being said, Miles, oftentimes after shows, people are complaining or want to know why they were placed here or placed there. What is your best advice as far as somebody wanting to get feedback? Do they go to the judge? Do they go to the judges? I mean, is that what
the show and talk to the judges?
Sure.
And you know what's cool? I'm gonna jump in because I've stayed with my clients to talk to judges, and I've stayed after the show to talk about my own placing too. And you know, the cool thing is I think that it's fresh in their mind. When you talk to judges right after the show, I know it's long, but the cool thing is I've had clients and other people that I've told, hey, you know what? Go to the website, email Duke, and you know what? They must take very detailed notes because they remember every athlete, 513 people, you know, athlete 387, they have notes about it and they'll tell you exactly, well, you know what, your color or your this, your that. It's kind of crazy how detailed it is.
I don't know how Duke does it. Last time I talked to him, he was 80 emails deep 2 weeks out. And folks, please give us some time to get back to you, and Duke does delegate that as well. But Vinny, you're absolutely right. The best time to talk to the judges is after the show. And I mean after the night show. You're never, ever allowed to talk to judges before the night show's over. That's one of the rules. By the way, do you realize that every show we have the judges sign ethics sheets with different rules and regulations on there? One of them is there'll be absolutely zero communication electronically or any way whatsoever with any athlete until after the night show. Please, when the night show's over, go down there. We don't care if you stay an hour after the show and talk to the judges. That is the best time because it's super fresh in their mind. Obviously, a lot of people can't do that. The next best thing to do is email Duke, send as many pictures as possible, and I like pictures where they're standing next to their opponent.
Sure.
So then Duke says, "Oh, okay, now I know why we got this."
When we had Erica Twilliger, who lost the overall, we had her on the show, and Mike actually picked the overall winner, so he agreed with the judging. I didn't, and so we talked about it on the show. And the day before the show, you know, Eric and I were on the phone. We're talking. I said, "Well, you know what? I encourage you, please email Duke, find out."
Yeah.
And you know what? He got back to her that night. So when she came on the show the next day, she had all the explanation she needed.
Oh, very cool.
So you know, it might take a few days, but that one happened to be just the one right then. He knew right away.
And I'll say this, just like the last show, 513 athletes, I did not get one email where anybody said they got ripped off, they were set of their placings. A couple of shows ago, matter of fact, a guy came to me and said his family, of course the family's always upset you don't win, and they said, thank gosh that you explain everything the way you do because we know it's all fair.
Yeah.
Seriously, the complaints have gone down dramatically. I rarely get an email from somebody who's ticked off about their placings. They'll call and ask why, and they're very much gentlemen and ladies about how they do that. It is a rare day that somebody is bitter. It's a rare day somebody's really upset with the judging. It really is. I just don't get it anymore. And if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be me. I'm the guy that's going to take a pop shot.
Sure.
So I'm really happy. I'm really proud of that.
Well,
most people handle it very well.
Well, moving on, we have is it still called the Natural Western States Natural Show Classic?
We have a brand new show with Miles Productions.
Okay.
That is the NPC Natural Outlaw.
Natural Outlaw.
Yeah,
okay,
cool.
So you did change the name.
Well, it's a brand new, I didn't change it, it's a brand new name.
Okay, what's the March show then?
Well, that is March 15th. It's the Natural Outlaw, which is down in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, so you get the Outlaw,
yeah.
And you're going to come up here.
And then the very next weekend is the NPC Natural Western USA.
That's it.
And that'll be up here in Mesa.
Okay.
So we have back-to-back shows, twofer. So two
Very
shows
nice.
for the bag.
Coming up.
Yeah, it's exciting, yeah. And then the next show for NPC Miles Productions will be in July. We have the Terminator. It's been going on our 4th year, I think. Matter of fact, Terminator, yeah, right there. And then we have the following week in Tucson. We'll be back in Tucson. And then the next week we have the Arizona Open. I think the three of us might know a little something about the Arizona.
That's right.
State champions.
Yep,
State champions.
That's right.
State champion.
Mr. Arizona.
And then we have a brand new show in September. And that is, oh yes, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yes.
Well, I got in wind that there was possibly 2 more shows added to this year's lineup. So
Tomorrow's like
10 total shows is what I'm.
It's crazy.
Whispers of.
In September, we're having the Desert Storm.
Desert Storm.
It is a national qualifier.
It is a national qualifier.
We think it's going to be a Mesa Center of the Arts. We think. But it's going to be another national qualifier, another large show.
Is that a Miles production?
And Miles Production show. And then the last Miles Production show, along with Felicia Romero, in November, will be the Felicia Romero Classic. We'll have figure, men's physique, and then, of course, the NPC Bodybuilding, the Western Regional.
How awesome.
And then let me mention Dennis. He's having a show in May. And I don't know about you folks, but I'm going to be there.
And then we also
So
have,
very excited to see
what
that
about
also.
Joe Valdez? Is he also with the show up in Flagstaff? Is that still in? fruition this year? Or no,
no,
that's not?
and me and Joe have talked about that, and I know actually Kim and Joe talked a little bit more. My decision as chairman is this. First of all, we're going from 4 NPC shows in 2013 to 8 NPC shows in 2014.
We're growing.
Folks, we doubled our shows.
Arizona bodybuilding,
you know,
baby.
my whole thing is I want to crawl, then walk, then run. I think we went from a crawl to a sprint.
Well, you know what? I mean,
we doubled the shows. So
you
let's
had
see how the
everybody
dust
screaming
settles.
for more shows. So here we are. We have more shows
Yeah.
now.
Well, God, you can't have 513. That's insane. My whole goal is to build as many shows as possible and get to 150 to 200 mark
Hey, we were there
per show.
and I thought the show went smooth as silk.
It did. Thank you.
You know, the cool thing is Mike and I think we figured it out for the next show. We'll do our interviews. You know, we're not going to do the interviews. We're gonna watch the prejudging, so that when we get to the interviews, that we can like have more to say. Because we're kind of at a loss. Like, well, how do you think you did? And it'd be nice to be like, hey, we watched prejudging. We had you here or whatever. So we'll be able
Make some
to
predictions.
Make some
that'd be cool.
predictions.
Yeah.
We predict Brandon Stinden when the overall he won it. Sure. So that was kind of cool.
Is there anything else that you want to touch on, Miles, before we get out of here?
Well, I do want to welcome you guys to the NPC Judging Clinic coming up
February 15th.
February 15th. You guys folks are going to be there?
Yeah,
You'll
we
be
would like
filming
to be there.
live.
We were invited there. And,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I
We'll be
think
there
it's,
with the show, and we'll be there to learn.
filming. We want to learn.
The thing I want to reiterate to you guys is that I'm super
Where is
excited
it? Where's the
about.
judging clinic?
Oh, Judge Clinic is going to be at Fitness One
Okay.
over at 7th Street in Hils.
Okay.
Once again, please go to npcmilesproduction.com and you will see the letter on there. Plus, if you have not joined the email list, please go to my website, click on the pink box, it walks you through. We're going to do a mass email out to everybody here in a couple days. You'll get information. Once again, if you're not on the email list, go to npcmilesproduction.com, click on the pink box, and it'll walk you through.
And this is for the judging clinic, correct?
For the Judging Clinic and for all information.
February
on NPC.
15th, guys.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to make a difference, instead of complaining, go down there and check it out. That's the true way to get down there and make a difference, is if you want to fix it, become a judge. See what it's like. Come on down. He's inviting you down.
And the final words I want to say is that, like I said kind of at the beginning of the show, is me and Kim are just so blessed. We have a great people behind us. And I do want to mention Will Passmore. I want to mention Z. I want to mention Brandy. I want to mention Steve. I want to mention Matt Mitchell. We have some great people that are with us. We call it the NPC family. Z likes to call it that way. We are so blessed to have that. We're blessed to have the best athletes in the country. Look how our females are just rocking it, guys. How many pros? I can't keep up.
I know.
Right.
Pros.
We're really
Our
we're
men's
honored to be
bodybuilders
part of
getting
it.
honored as men are better. These two studs right here. But the one thing I want to say is, like I say, this is really this is your state. This is your sport. Please let us know, Kim and I, what can we do to make it better for you and to make you feel as comfortable as possible? How can we make these shows better? We love suggestions.
Can I give one?
Yes.
Okay, my first show, Scott Stevenson won the overall. Beat my man Mike here. And
You were robbed.
Well, you know.
And in that show, the guys walked out of there with all these trophies. He beat me in the novice class, but he also got a most muscular award. So can we bring
It
back?
is, he keeps touching me.
Can we bring that
Right.
most muscular award back and maybe the best poser back? And get
You
a
know who's
trophy?
doing that for
Like,
all-
it's kind of like a nice consolation prize. Hey, I didn't get the overall, but I was the best poser.
I'm going to put your nutritionist on the spot. Dusty Henshaw, House of Fitness. he's the one that Dusty, you're on the spot. He's the one that sponsored that. The best poser award.
he did. Okay.
Best poser award,
Dusty.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Best
Dusty
poser, and you
Henshaw
had
is the one that did that.
most muscular too.
So we got to get Dusty on the show.
You know, guys, I'm throwing Dusty on the bus. Dusty, it's up to you. You
Ah,
bring that back or not?
Dusty, it's up to you,
sponsor it.
bro.
Yeah, you got to bring it back, Dusty.
How about
Let's
this?
do one
Because
on
this
the
is
bus.
another
It's a good bus.
suggestion that we hear, and that I think coming from me, and maybe I've said this to you before, but I would love to see a guest poser again. I miss seeing guest posers at the show. I think it's a big deal. I don't know. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? I mean, you're an old school bodybuilder. You're used to seeing them.
It's so tough. Gosh, we've taken that money. Obviously, you see the lighting is what we do, the stage setups. We put that money more towards the NPC athlete. And my thing is, not that we won't have guest posers, we've kind of held off for a little while. My deal is we want to treat the athlete as the guest poser. Let's face it, 99% of the crowd is there to see the athlete. They really are. How many people come there just to see the guest poser? That's a business decision every promoter has to come up with. I think it's cool. I think it's icing on the cake. There's no doubt about it. And you guys, you've known we've had every single top-notch Olympia out here and everything else out here. We hadn't had the last couple of years. It's something that I struggle with every show. Sometimes when you trade out for guest posers, But like I say, what I told you a couple years ago is we're taking that money, we're really putting it towards the athletes and treat them as guest posers. And you got it. I mean, does anybody do what we do in Miles Productions as far as how we introduce the athletes and stage setups and smokes and lights and all that
Ladies
stuff?
and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Well, it's kind of funny because they do all this hoopla for the guest poser, but then really 99% of people there to see the athletes themselves.
I have a good one.
I agree.
I have a good
I agree.
question. I have a really good question. I'm going to put you on the spot. Now,
I had Monica Brown out. That was my favorite one of all time.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, honey. I just love Monica.
yeah.
Monica, you're hearing me.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be selected as your model search winner and made my way.
Poster contest winner.
Poster contest winner. Made
Thanks for
myself.
reminding me.
It was beautiful. It got me on the. I didn't even know I was on the poster until people were sending me pictures of it.
Yeah.
Now my question to you is. This guy's gotten first in the class. He's
What do I got to do to get on this guy's
my
poster?
question. It's my question.
Stop giving me Stop giving me stage shots.
Dude, I've only won 2 of your shows, man. Come on, get me on the poster.
So here's the deal.
Good
And
question.
I told Mike this. It's model shots, not something from stage. But if
Yeah,
you
Mike,
do
I don't
want
let
to-
them.
They're not. This guy, I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna flood his email with
It's like, okay,
20 pics.
we're doing the
Like,
media at the
come
shows.
through.
We're doing the media at the shows. We volunteer at the shows. I've been on the poster. Thank you very much. Awesome.
Cool.
I'm gonna frame it. It's beautiful.
You have.
Mike, you gotta get this guy on the poster. Come on.
And I'm glad you asked that. Remember we talked about the guest posing thing too? Another reason why is
He's not answering it.
I'm answering it. Here's why I need people. One of the reasons why too we haven't done guest posters in a while. I want you athletes on the posters. I want you to get exposure. It's all about you. Then putting some guy we don't even know that lives in a different state that's already got his accolades in the magazines. Let's give the local Arizona NPC athlete the accolades. Let's put them on the posters. Give them an exposure. You know, our websites, the month of the show, we get like 12,000 hits a week. Even December, which is a super off month, I mean, it's dead as far as the fitness world. We're getting over 1,000 hits a week even on the website then, and they're looking at the poster. So it's another thing we do for our athletes is we map them as the guest posers. Mike, to be on the poster, no muscle head shots. In other words, we
Model
want
shots.
cool shots.
These guys act like I don't have any photo shoots. I think I've got several
Give
right
them
here
to me.
from this
Yeah,
gym.
give them to me in the gym. And by the
know.
way, please, especially guys, we need you guys sending a lot more pictures. We're going to redesign the posters here. You're going to see the second poster for March pretty much the same. After that, it's going to be a complete redesign because we have so many shows now. It's going to look more like a calendar. We're going to go out less often, but we're going to put every poster 2 Arizona female athletes and 2 Arizona male athletes on every poster. So we're going to double the amount of people. Instead of 1-on-1, we're going to 2-on-2. So Mike, give me your
Check
pictures.
your email in the morning.
No musclehead gym shots. Do some
I have a
things.
question. I have a question.
Hey, Benny, you have to change
Let's
it.
wrap this up.
We'll wrap it up, but one more question.
We love talking.
Can you get on the poster twice?